Things just took a perfect turn for the Chicago Bears. They enter their Week 6 game against the Washington Commanders on Monday Night Football. Welcome to Bears Digest, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Dylan Guinzy. Thank you for joining me once again. We are just running some new reports here of the last month on the subscriber count, and it looks like 94% of the watch time and watchers of this channel are not subscribed. So 94% are not subscribed. It is very easy to hit that bell and get signed up for all the notifications, news, rumors, and breaking stuff that comes our way as Bears fans. So be sure to hit that bell going forward. But today, guys, what we're going to discuss is a lot of the injury front and updates there, of course, going into the Commanders game in Week 6. We're also going to discuss a specific player that has eligibility to come off of IR, which would be a big addition for the Chicago Bears and somebody that hasn't really been talked about too much, that did get injured back in preseason. And obviously that does feel like months ago at this point, and feels like a long time ago. But this player did very good in the preseason and could be of help to the Bears in the regular season. So without further ado, we're going to get this started here with the injury updates and our man who could potentially be coming back as soon as this week. Defensive end Austin Booker had a standout start to the preseason before suffering a knee injury during a Week 2 preseason win over the Buffalo Bills. Booker landed on injured reserve before the start of the regular season with a designation to return. The Bears desperately need help with their pass rush, as they have totaled just 5 sacks on the season, 26th in the NFL. While Booker isn't going to be a magic fix, he'll be a nice complement alongside Montez Sweat and Odunze, who each have just 1 sack in 4 games. That article was from Bears Wire the other day. So with Austin Booker, he is obviously a talented pass rusher. He is very young. Has he proved it in the regular season? No. But he has shown all the flashes that you would want out of your pass rusher, out of a pure speed rush, bull rush type of edge. In the preseason, he was dominant. I think he had 3 or 4 sacks in the 2 games, or partly of the 2 games that he did play there, and then ended up on IR going into the regular season. But this pass rush for the Bears so far has been utterly terrible. We're going to get into here briefly, here pretty soon, about some of the statistics and specific players and that pass rush, but it has been horrible. And newsflash, everybody could have really, pretty much guessed that going into the season. Now, we don't want to be too negative as we, are talking about all this, because this is positive, right? The Bears are getting healthier. They're coming off the bye. They're going to get possibly Austin Booker right back this week off of IR, and then Kyler Gordon, TJ Edwards, Grady Jarrett. All of these guys should be healthy for the remainder here of the season. Of course, if anything else happens, that's part of the game. But they should be healthy here and ready to go. And that's a chance for this team to really take that step and begin to play really good football and beat some good teams here down the stretch. And they do have a winnable schedule coming forward here over the next 7 games. But Austin Booker was drafted last year. The Bears traded back into the draft in the 2024 draft to snag him. They felt like he was a developmental piece where they would take a year, maybe 2 years to develop him, and then he would reach that ceiling that they think that he could reach and be a prominent piece to this pass rush. Now, last year, he didn't get too much playing time, of course, because that was kind of that developmental year. Now, we're in this season, year 2 of his career. He should have more familiarity with the game itself, with the NFL, the speed of play. He got stronger as well. They told him to do that. And I think he does fit well in Dennis Allen's scheme as well. And he said all good things about him as well in the preseason. So now you're at that point where it's not really about development and things like that. He should be ready to play. He should be that force that you drafted him to be later in the round. I believe it was in the 4th round of that draft. So obviously, is he going to be a complete game wrecker, a complete game changer? No. But as we will discuss here soon, with all these defensive statistics that are horrific, they need him. And, Dio and Montez just really aren't cutting it at the moment, and they really need Austin Booker back in the fold here. So just to go over some of the defensive statistics for the rush and pass, just looking at the running game, obviously it's horrific in every facet that needs to be fixed. That's not really Austin Booker's problem to fix there. It's overall everybody and getting guys back healthy that's going to assist in that. They have Bill Krosky-Merritt coming up in the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. Both of those can run very well. Those guys are very good at running the football, and their offensive line has improved, especially in run blocking. So the Bears really have to step it up this week and stopping the run because I think you can hold Jaden Daniels, to under 200 yards passing in this game. The Bears have done it multiple times this season. Now, with the run game, though, and if they're getting the play action going and all these zone reads and things like that, and you're just not able to stop it, they're just not going to have to throw it all, and you're just going to lose. So they really have to step it up in the run game category. But besides that, in the pass defense, they've been pretty good overall, just covering the pass. But getting to the quarterback, it has not been good at all. The sack percentage down there at the bottom, if you see, is 4.2%. It's good for about the bottom of the league. Only a couple teams are worse. And of course, this has been a long-standing thing for the Bears. Even when Eberflus was there, he didn't bring extra pressure. He wanted to get home with 4. He couldn't do it. Dennis Allen does bring more blitzes, but he likes to get home with 4 as well, as any defensive coordinator would. It's not happening. They have 5 sacks on the year. The majority of those were week 1 against J.J. McCarthy, who had no idea where he was going or what he was doing. It's unbelievable that the Bears lost that game in week 1, but besides that point, they got to the quarterback a lot there because it was a rookie. He was holding the ball too long. He didn't really know where he was going with the football, and that was that, right? And they had a lot of injuries on that offensive line as well, and the Bears got home. Now, ever since that point, I think they've had 1 sack the rest of the year. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it's 1 or 2 sacks apart from that first game, and that's just absolutely not good enough. So I'm honestly surprised how the pass defense has played and how many interceptions that we've had with how little pressure that we've been getting on the quarterback consistently. So overall, I think the pass defense is great. I think our corners are stepping up, and we're getting more guys back too, so that's going to be helpful. But we got to get to the quarterback more, and that's Austin Booker's strong suit. And it's not going to be any worse than kind of what we've seen from Montez Sweat and Dayo Odunze. So going over to Montez Sweat, this is how he's looking this year. 9 solo tackles, just 1 sack, no forced fumbles, no interceptions, of course. And that's just not going to cut it. For $25 million a year or whatever he's getting paid, that is not going to cut it in this league. And it's a real tragedy that he's not getting to the quarterback or at least getting a lot of pressures. I know he had one get called back in the Detroit game against Goff. He had a good pass rush snap there. But overall, even 2 sacks. I mean, 2 sacks would be better, but we need more. We need more forceful rushes out of this guy. We need more energy. We need him to actually affect the game in a big way if he's going to be getting paid that much money. If we pop over to Dayo, not much different there. 3 solo tackles for Dayo, 1 sack for him. That came against Minnesota. I think that was the first sack of the year for the Bears. It was Dayo. And at that point, I was like, hey, I'm proven wrong. Dayo's pretty good, right? And then he hasn't done anything since that point. And it's really, really disheartening as a fan and as those who kind of called it out before the season that this was going to be an issue. And then it ended up being an issue, just like we all thought. So a real problem there. So getting Austin Booker back is going to be massive for this team just because he adds that pure pass rush ability. And maybe he's just that much better than Dayo, and he can come in on every single third down or passing down and just be better at pressuring the quarterback or at least putting a dent on that side of the pocket, drifting the quarterback over to Montez's side so then Montez can eat. Obviously, that's wishful thinking. This guy hasn't really proven anything in the NFL or at that level. But if they, truly saw him as a developmental guy and they're ready to get him going and ramping up, and he's made that improvement, he should be at least a serviceable, Trevis Gibson type off the edge there, if you guys remember him, or somebody like Darrell Taylor last year, right, who we brought in from the Seahawks right before the season started. We traded for him. He provided somewhat of, relief in good passing downs, and he was a good pure pass rusher. But obviously, not going to move the needle too much, right? But we need somebody to kind of get to the quarterback a little bit more, and Austin Booker seems to be a guy that can do that. So let me know what you guys think down below of the pass rush so far. What do we need to do to win this game here this week against the Commanders? Always looking forward to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. So, of course, Thank you for joining again this video at Bears Digest. We're going to be here all week preparing for the Commanders game. It's a big one for us, a chance to get to 3-2 and house those guys under the lights in a revenge game for Ben and the Bears after that Hail Mary last year. So a lot of things, a lot of storylines coming up this week. We're going to be here for all of it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notifications are on, and we'll see you next time. Bear down.